blockchain projects in Romania also. Moving forward, our next Paul, founder and CEO, Alpha Block Technologies. Mukul builds machines that beat any market at any time, and with Alpha Block Technologies, he's currently transforming the world of global do-it-yourself investing. That sounds promising. Please welcome him.
Okay, so now you just heard what I do. I build machines that invest smartly for anybody who wants to invest. So this is the DIY. So the do-it-yourself is basically the story of a computer, a dog, and a man. And the dog is there to make sure that the man doesn't interfere with the computer. So we build machines that you have to tell them what to do and they will do the job. Now this might seem like that the machines are going to take over the world and all that. See, I'm not really about that story. I'm really about solving a problem here. And the problems are many. And one of the big problem is that every day we have more data. Every day we have more information. Every day we have new technology, new processes, and everybody is feeling that they are getting smarter. But unfortunately, that's not what's happening. Too much information, too much data, too much processing is not necessarily making us smarter, because human beings don't have the capability to process so much information, and this is very tiring. That is one thing. So coming from this information overload context, I want to tell you some things, and which is that there's this huge trend towards policing information. There was a recent scam back in India, where the National Stock Exchange, which is the leading stock exchange in the country, they fired their chief executives because those chief executives or people in power in the stock exchange allowed their friends to keep their servers closer to the stock exchange server. And this co-location, as we call it, the co-location scam, is because it is believed that if my server is close to the data, I'm going to be smarter because I have better access to information. So somewhere the information age that we are thrilled about and excited about is left to the bots to take away the last bit of breadcrumbs of intelligence that is thought to be connected with access to information. I'm sorry to disappoint you that access to information and more information is not going to make you smart, and it is never going to make you intelligent. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I hope that's clear to what is my purpose here. So now I'll tell you another story. The other story is that we are all excited because none of us has seen here 1929. Or we have only seen pictures of Great Depression and the problems and the job losses. There is so much cash in the system that it is very hard to imagine a difficult perspective. Now I'll tell you what kind of difficult perspective. Though history is always rhyming, it is not repeating, so you will not get a similar Great Depression because we are making smarter food, smarter systems. You will not just get the same picture of joblessness. There's a whole new innovation at this point of time, but something will happen which I don't think you may understand, is for the last 70, 90 years, there is something which has not become expensive, and that is food. Food inflation has not happened over the last 78 years. And when food inflation starts to happen, then there is a problem because you have all the money, but you are buying half the bread with the same money. You have the same money, but you cannot afford to buy houses. So the whole idea of inflation eating into the so-called crypto wealth is something you will slowly see, because all these things happen slowly. We don't see the change because it's very slow. So I told you about information deluge. I told you about speed breakers which are being put today so that we all, with our Porsche car and Dacia car and all the cars, stop at the speed breaker so we can all give the benefit of doubt to Dacia so that it can access the information slowly. It doesn't matter whether you have a Porsche, you're going to stand at the speed breaker because it's unethical to access that information faster if you have a Porsche compared to Dacia. So all this policing of access to information is basically about the breadcrumbs that are left to juice information. So for me, information is not an orange that you can juice. Food inflation is a reality, and you don't understand intelligence. And AI doesn't understand it, because if AI would understand it, there is something that AI could do is solve an asset management problem. Asset management, all of us manage assets. We have pensions, we have sovereign funds, Yale, endowment. $100 trillion is the money that is being managed today. Did you know that? Anybody knows that? Yes, $100 trillion. $100 trillion are being managed, and 9 out of 10 smart managers over a period of 10 years don't beat the market. Now, if I ask you another question, what do you think is the market? It is another difficult question, because we just never ask, what is intelligence? What is that we are beating? Is this risk worth taking? Is this risk too much? Am I really becoming richer or am I becoming poorer? We don't have any clue. So, I was asked to speak on risk management and policy, and I think that the real policy for policymakers should be to understand that we are no more going to solve things by being reactive. Oh, the market has crashed, let's punish the brokers. The reactivity will not work. There is a need for proactivity, because suddenly from the small market of New York Stock Exchange, we have made everything a market. NFTs is a market, what we sell in NFT is a market, every alternative asset is a market. Suddenly, from 100,000 liquid assets, we are going to make trillions of assets. What is the watchdog going to do? The watchdog has a very difficult job. So, my suggestion for the watchdog, which is what I was called here to speak for, is that there is a new speed breaker that has to be brought in place. And that speed breaker is, in a simple way, is to tell you to stop looking at your trading screens, to consciously know that just because you're trading, you're not going to become richer. How to control your engagement with information, your emotional engagement with information, is a policy that should be put in place. Businesses should be built around disconnection or detachment, or giving people thinking time to deal with information. So this is not something like a philosophy. This is something which is very real we are building. So if you come to our platform and you say, Mukul, I want to buy an Apple stock, you can buy it, but you will have to buy it at least for a day. We will not let you come in, go out, change your mind, do it again, something. No. When you come to us, you buy an Apple stock for at least a day, and maybe for at least a week, maybe for at least a year. So this slow downing or dealing with information is a very important process if you ever want to become intelligent, or you ever want to see intelligent society. So that is where I'll stop. Thank you very much. Any questions for my monologue that I just made? Yes. Anybody? No questions. Do I hear something? No, I don't hear anything. Yes.
Thank you for the talk, for the speech.
Could you elaborate on how slow is this food inflation, please? So when actually I will be able to buy half of bread? Just, yeah, for my own perception.
Yeah, I know, good that you're concerned about it. A crisis, an economic crisis when food inflation is not there is not a real crisis, because we are still among the 1% of the elite who spend more than $50 a day. We can come to these conferences, we can afford a lifestyle, but the world doesn't have this luxury. The world really, there is still a part of the world which lives in under USD a day, and that's where food inflation really hurts. But I'm happy that you are concerned about it. So the food inflation is already happening. Do you know that the wheat prices have fallen for more than 10 years, and now for the last 1.5 years they've been rising? Whether it's wheat, whether it is sugar, whether it is coffee, whether it is cocoa, whether it is cotton. I know this is not cryptocurrencies that are very exciting, but this is happening. For the last 1.5 years, food inflation is happening. So bread is becoming expensive, means wheat prices have already gone up more than 100% from its lows over the last 12 months. So I believe, or I was asked what's my forecast, and I said the same thing, that I see a secular bull market in tangible goods, which includes agriculture, which includes energy, which includes precious metals, which includes industrial metals. So if you are happy paying you $1,000 for your iPhone phone, get ready to pay $3,000 for it, so that you understand what inflation is. Any other question? Yes, please.
So when we talk about inflation, usually we refer to a basket of something which is related to a specific coin, usually a fiat coin, traditional currency like USD or Euro or something else. The question is, when the US government issued the stimulus after the COVID pandemic, and I think it was 2.5 trillion, something around that. When we look around in the world right now and we see, such as you said, food inflation, is it because there is a certain limiting in the way we can produce food, or is it because there is a overabundance of cash in the market, and that diminished the power of, the buying power of the cash itself? This is the first part of the question. The second part of the question, in the blockchain space, we kind of consider to have this sacred idea of having, hard caps and monetary mass limits, and we have, the fixed monetary mass of Bitcoin, for example, which is used as a reference point. And there is, a philosophical difference between how markets and governments usually issue cash as stimulus after crisis to rebound the economy. On the other hand, we have the crypto and the blockchain space, which think about deflationary purposes and trying to think in, limited amount of monetary mass, which means that you won't have inflation in the crypto space. Transitioning from the traditional economy to the blockchain economy, where do you see there's going to be, a breaking point of logic when we're going to stop flooding the market with money and we're going to think in deflationary purpose?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think they should be asking you to make a talk here, because it's important to have these processes. So the first part, money. There is a part of money that is smart, and smart money knows where the world is heading. So smart money understands that your fiat is useless, because fiat in US has something along with it, and that is plus $30 trillion debt. So if the fiat, smart money knows it is useless, nature is like this. There is always something of use coming out to deal with something that is useless. So the use is why tangible goods are useful. It doesn't matter how much agriculture you can grow. You can eat just, fruits on the tree and live, but you have a lifestyle. So it is not about production per se. It's about the lifestyle of the society and the smart money understanding it, that saying these are tangible goods, the world cannot live without it, so I should be buying it. So that's smart money. It's not about crop. These are all factors. You can reasons and other things. And the second part you already answered, means the DeFi society has a purpose. And this purpose is not going away, because you have human interference in the markets. Whenever it wants to fall, because it is tired, it's exhausted, it's exuberance, they say, no, don't fall, I will give you money. When you interfere with the markets consistently, you destroy them. And hence the role of DeFi to not destroy something which can naturally work. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much also.